Time for Keys to the Game against the Cleveland Browns. Battle of Ohio, Part 2. The Cincinnati Bengals opened the season against the Cleveland Browns, and it was brutal. They want to close the season against the Cleveland Browns by winning their first division game, by finishing with a better than 500 record for the third season in a row. They want to win this football game for a lot of reasons. But in my mind, as a former player, I want to make restitution for what happened in the opener. Man, let's take a look at some things that took place up there. Obviously, Joe Burrow was not right physically. I mean, they had to go shotgun. He had to stay in the pocket. He couldn't move. I mean, it was a tough dynamic. There was struggles there. But man, in the trenches, it was an embarrassing game. This should be a redemption game for what happened up there. The Cincinnati Bengals had 2 takeaways, didn't give the football away at all. They went +2, and they lost by 3 scores, 24-3. They had 142 yards offensively on 54 plays, averaged 2.6 yards per play. 2.6 yards per rush is not good enough. 2.6 yards per play is mind-boggling. 6 first downs, 2 rushing, 3 passing, 1 by penalty. 2 for 15 on third down, converted 13.3% of the third downs. 10 of those 15 third downs were for 5 yards or more. They didn't do a good enough job on first and second down. They found themselves in third and long way too often. They rushed the football for 3.8 yards per carry, 75 yards. They ended up rushing the football for more yards than they threw it. What? This Cincinnati Bengals offense, the net yards passing were 67 yards. They were sacked twice for 15 yards. Gross passing yards were 82. You take the yardage off of the sacks, they netted out at 67. I mean, it was unbelievable. They got suffocated. There was no rhythm, no timing, no tempo. They never got in the red zone. Never came close. The offensive snap, one offensive snap in the first half, cross midfield. They had a snap at the 47-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. They had 3 other offensive snaps in the second half that went into Cleveland territory. The deepest penetration was the Cleveland 33-yard line. I mean, it was amazing. They never threatened. Field position. They had 5 drives that started inside their own 20-yard line. They had 2 additional drives that started at the 21-yard line. They only had 15 possessions. 7 of them, they were way backed up. You pick a category. The Bengals didn't win in any area whatsoever against the Cleveland Browns in that first football game. So it is restitution time. I'm not saying revenge game, but I'm saying redemption game. Redemption game for everybody that played in that opener. So that's the thing that I think about with this Cleveland Browns game. Man, how bad it was in that opener. And very rarely do you have a division opponent to open up the season and then that same division opponent to close the season. And like I said, has not gone well against the division. Maybe the Bengals can get in the victory column against the Cleveland Browns to get that division win. Whenever you're talking rivalry game, Battle of Ohio Part 2, whenever you're talking a division game, turnovers are huge. Turnovers are huge at every level of football. We all understand that. It's going to be big in this one. The Bengals are +9 on the season. That's tied for 4th best in the National Football League. They only have 15 giveaways. That's remarkable. That's tied for 3rd best in the National Football League. They've got 11 fourth down failures where they did not successfully convert on 4th down. So that's 26 possessions that ended without a punt, an extra point, or a field goal. That's a little over 1.5 possessions a game. The Cleveland Browns right now, they're -8 in the turnover department. That's 27th in the NFL. They have 35 giveaways, dead last in the league. They've thrown 21 interceptions, dead last in the league. They have 14 fourth down failures. They've tried it on 4th down 31 times and converted 17. Stefanski's very, very aggressive. They have 49 possessions that have ended without a kick, no punt, no field goal, no extra point. Are you kidding me? 49 of them? That's over 3 possessions a game that they've given away. How the heck is this football team 11-5? I mean, you think their record would be reversed with these kind of numbers. It's amazing. It is truly amazing. And this is going to be their 5th quarterback that they've played. No wonder Kevin Stefanski is a major candidate for head coach of the year in the National Football League. I mean, he's been a magician. Houdini. Ball security. Finished drives. It's going to be big in this football game against the Cleveland Browns. Huge. We got to talk about explosives. In a podcast earlier this week, we talked to defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo about it, and it's a head scratcher for him because, they don't practice that way, that they play in the games where mistakes are made assignment-wise, a gap's not filled properly, the things that happen when explosive plays, big plays are given up. They'll have 60 plays in a game, and they'll play 54 of them excellently, and then 6 of them will go for 240 yards. I mean, it's crazy. That has to be stopped. I mean, there's no question about it. The Cleveland Browns, you can't give explosives up to these guys. We don't know who's going to be playing for the Cleveland Browns, but that's part of Kevin Stefanski's mindset. He's looking to make the big play. I mean, he does a great job as a play caller, mixing in the run, play action, pass, screens. He'll take his deep shots when he feels like they're set up, and you have to be on your P's and Q's. You have to mind your P's and Q's. There's no question. So minimize explosives. How about eliminating explosives? Love to see a football game where there are no explosives because they've done a great job in the red zone. They got 12 red zone stops defensively, most in the National Football League. 12 times the opponent hasn't scored a point in the red zone. That's big time. But boy, those explosives have hurt them. I mean, it just, if you don't score points on the explosive, it just flips the field and puts you in such bad shape that you're giving up 3 points basically because of the explosives. So, and then on the flip side of it, love to see the Bengals get their share. How about getting some explosives? That would be a nice scenario too. Love to see Jake Browning get some explosives in the air. Like to see Joe Mixon and company at the running back position get some explosives on the ground and turn the tables on that. Love to see a big day in that regard. And in a big day that would lead to a big victory. A lot of the matchups that you have to worry about is in keys to the game, like Myles Garrett, who is just a genetic phenomenon. I mean, this guy is a total freak. How much will he play? I don't know. I'm hearing conflicting reports that nobody's going to play, and then maybe a few guys will play a series or two and then get pulled. Who knows? Bottom line is, who cares? If you're playing in this football game for the Cincinnati Bengals, you're trying to finish this season right. And they're going to play everybody. Everybody that's healthy is going to be out there. And that's including guys like Jamar Chase that I'm sure is going to try to get those 100 catches. He's 4 catches short. He wants to finish the season strong. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. Apply your technique. Apply your fundamentals. Know your rules. Go out there and execute. No matter who it is. Just go out there and play hard, play for your team, play for each other, play for the coaches. The coaches have supported you the entire season. You support them. Play for the home fans. The hometown fans have supported you the whole season long. You go out and support them with a good performance. That's the important thing. The Browns have had the Bengals number. There's no doubt about it. The Cincinnati Bengals have lost 6 of the last 7 matchups, 9 of the last 11. Why? Because of the things we're talking about. Mental mistakes, turnovers, physical errors. I mean, I would love nothing more than to see the Cincinnati Bengals go out in the final home game against the Cleveland Browns and play almost a perfect game. There's no such thing as a perfect game in the game of football, but as close to perfection as you possibly can play. Execution at its finest. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals had no rhythm, no timing, no tempo in the season opener up there in Cleveland. Let's see if they can finish the season against Cleveland with rhythm, timing, tempo, and win a game. And win it big. Why not? Why not? Send the Cleveland Browns back up north with a spanking. I think a big key to this football game is play with a lead. Score first. Don't let Jeff Driskel get the Cleveland Browns offense on track early. Then you're going to have yourself a football game. If you can squash them, score first, build on a lead, control the tempo of the football game the entire game, finish the football game. Don't give them one breath of hope. Right from the very beginning, squash the Cleveland Browns' hopes to win this football game.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.